That's how
I
it
hate
should start. It's just
everyone.
It's just
I
be
hate
Wes.
all of you.
You click play, and it's just Wes going.
I hate all of you. All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages. It's episode 38 of the On the Button podcast. My name is Wes. I'm here with Ian and Trey. We're back on the regular schedule, getting the episode out on Monday mornings. Apologize for the delay last time, but Galactics kind of made it inevitable that we'd be a little late on that episode. So, boys, how you doing? It's been only like 10 days since we got together. It hadn't been that long.
It hadn't been that long. I'm doing great, Wes. How's work for you?
Don't get me started. I could give you the 12-minute enraged rant that would end.
Wes is having an Ian week.
Oh man. Let me tell you, Ian has. I love talking to you, Ian, because you have the best stories because you work in a retail environment, right? And that always leads to. How do I want to phrase this diplomatically? High variance in customer interactions. Some good, some bad, and a very wide spectrum in between. Generally, in my job, it tends to be much more even-keeled, right? But then every now and then, you work on a project, or you deal with a client, or you just have a week where it's like, I'm going to burn this whole place to the ground. I'm going to light it on fire, throw the light, I'm going to light a match, throw it over my shoulder as I walk out the door and smile like this, right? And I'm having one of those weeks right now. So yeah, I'm ready to be done with this week and this particular phase of the job that I'm on. So it's been a time.
So I did that intentionally because Wes started right before he did go. There was a bunch of woo-saw breaths as he moved himself into this. So I just tickled myself by just bringing it right back up.
Yeah.
So
Trey teed me up for that one nicely. Trey teed me up for that one nicely. Well done. What do you got, Ian? How's life treating you? Is your retail world as crazy as always, or is it calm for you?
No,
right now?
It settles down right now.
Okay.
It settles down. We're getting Halloween set already. I mean,
wow.
It's going to be about that time.
Set Halloween already. I was going to say
football.
November 1st is like my worst day of the year every year.
Take down Halloween, put up Christmas?
No. It is expected to be 100% set and perfect November 1st. So you don't even get time to really take down Halloween. You have to strategically, at one point you can come into my store and I'll have a set that is half Halloween, half Christmas.
Oh my god!
Because
I
condense it the 31st, or
because I just condense it down. I'm condensing the Halloween down, and I'm already setting the Christmas, so that when I have to pull it all down on Halloween night and put up all the Christmas, it's
my god,
it's already done. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my god,
it's crazy. But I've had a really great week. I go to Vegas.
Good.
I leave for Vegas this Thursday. A little late for the GC.
Okay.
I missed it, I think.
That's okay. You two can now experience the joy of moving through the Venetian and the tunnel to the Sphere with the rest of the Backstreet herd. So you'll have to let us know.
Yeah.
I've only experienced that from watching them go by the other way as I leave the convention. Yeah. You'll have to tell us what it's like to be in the herd, right?
To my wife to pay me back for having to see the Backstreet Boys last night. We went and saw a Black Crowes concert, so it was really
nice.
So it was kind of nice, a nice little trade-off there, yeah.
Nice.
So I made her sit in the sun for 6 hours. Though we got there at
brutal.
Not 6 hours, 4.5.
Okay.
I don't know. We got there for the first act. I like to see all the bands, so it was great.
Trey, is your car situation
Check them out, by
improving?
The way, South Hall. Very much impressed me last night. South Hall impressed me. Really cool band.
Okay. No. In fact, it's gotten worse.
Oh no.
So I'm just. I mean, it's expanded beyond cars now. So this is what I've done in the last couple of weeks. All right. So my truck was $3,500 worth of suspension work.
Yeah.
Just get a new truck, bro.
It's right on the edge. It's right on the edge of. It's paid for. So even at $3,500, it's still just barely on the edge of. It's still cheaper to have this truck. My wife's car. The air conditioning broke and they were like $500 to fix it. And then it lasted like a day. So we took it back and they were like, oh no, we have to take your whole dashboard apart. This is a $3,000 repair. So there's that. And then I have I've covered many times. I have two daughters in college, and we bought a condo a long time ago in College Station for one of them that we've been renting out. The other one we just bought a condo for in April, and one of her friends moved in, and we are having to tell the friend that you are not allowed to live here anymore because you have smoked and your cat you haven't cleaned a litter box in months, and you weren't supposed to have animals anyway, and you put holes in the wall, and so you have to get out, and you have to, and it's gonna be like, I don't know, $500 or $600 in damages.
Wow.
And then on top of that, my other condo, we told them we didn't. I mean, these people that had been renting the place had rented it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 years, something like that. Okay. But we were like, okay, the lease is ending. We need this for our daughter. Well, they left, and when the property manager that we use, they sent their people in to do an assessment of how much it's going to take to fix it. We have a contractor. It's not going to be this much, but the assessment that they gave, $22,000 in work.
Sorry.
It's infested in fleas because they paid the pet deposit for one animal, and they turned it into a literal zoo. Like, there were like tens of animals in there, and the whole place has to be repainted top to bottom. Every floor has to be ripped out. The counter has to be replaced. One of the bathrooms has to be redone, and the countertops and the cabinetry has to be replaced.
Paint and carpet, I feel like, is pretty typical in those situations. Like, especially after somebody's been there a few years, that's kind of expected. But that's insane.
But the smell is just horrific.
Well, yeah.
From what I haven't been there yet, but the smell has just been horrific.
You know, the last time I rented, 5 or 6 years ago, I had a little apartment down in Corpus because I was working down there during the week at the shipyard, and you know, the lease. I think the lease I signed was explicitly like no pets because I didn't have no pets. It was easy, but they would come around and do inspections. Like, you would get a little notice. They would come about once a month or so to come and check and make sure, because it's very easy to tell if someone has a cat or a dog in a 1,000 square foot apartment or a 1,200 square foot condo or something, because there's smell or toys or stuff around or like whatever. You can figure it out. And they always told us, like, if we figure it out, if you've done this without telling us, you're going to get hit with the fees. But that's
then you have to be able to collect the money from the fees. Well, so if they're not able to pay that, what are you going to do? Shake a finger? So that's they have like a $700 security deposit, and that was less. That's like 4% of it or whatever.
Wow.
But
yeah. Well, if you need a part-time job, I know the manager that works at that Kingswood Petco.
Yeah,
it sounds like you need some extra funds quick, bro. Wow, man! Like,
but it's gonna be.
I'm bad at math, but I'm like using fingers and toes over here, and that's not good, man. I'm like, wow, that's just like, oh, your truck. Can I just ask how many miles your truck has on it now?
191,000.
Wow, man. Great job.
But it has, so my truck has a new engine, it has a new transmission, it has a new differential in the back. As of now, it has an entirely new front end suspension system. Like, everything major in that truck has been replaced. Yeah. It has new tires, and I mean, it's a big lifted truck with like the tires are like $500 a piece, and they're new.
It looks very comfortable for you. Which I don't think most automobiles are super made for somebody your gigantic size.
Yeah.
I had a Toyota Corolla. I don't think you could get into at one point.
No, I can't.
I had an 84 Corolla, and I had a friend who was like 6'1", and he seat all the way back. His knees were still like right in his chest.
This is the fallacy that other people have when they look at me, because I've always been this tall. When I was in the first grade, I towered over everybody, and people told me, you're going to stop growing and everybody's going to catch you. And then I didn't. Yeah. So I've spent my entire life cramming myself into the world built for you people. So it doesn't matter if I'm cramming myself into something for somebody who's 5'8" or 6 foot or 6'1". It's a lot of cram. I figure out how to make it work. So I've been doing, like, my first car was a Firebird, and I used to drive, the one that I had wrecked was a Honda Civic, and it was very comfortable. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Wow. Well, it's been a fun week for everyone around on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So when last we gathered, boys, what we discussed was that this time was going to be the big Twin Sun special. I know coming out of the GC tray, you and I had a lot to talk about with TS. There was some good announcements coming out of the dev team and FFG about Twin Suns, and that's still on the docket. But before we get to that point, let's talk a little bit briefly, 5 to 8 minutes, whatever we land on, about the premier meta where we are right now, right? Galactic Championship 2 weeks ago, literally 2 weeks ago tonight, we crowned a champion. And so in the subsequent 2 weeks, there was a lot of prediction in the build up to the GC that it would be the great CAD apocalypse. Cad Bane would be everywhere. And Cad did win the event and placed very well. But there were a number of other decks that performed, quite solid. We had a Talzin in the top 10, for example. And so what's your opinion of kind of where we're at, where it looks like we're going to land? And do you think FFG needs to make some changes here? There's a lot of talk about banning CAD, and there's a lot of folks that think it may not necessarily be CAD, but some other things alongside him.
Well, see, this is where, in my opinion, FFG has put themselves in a pickle, and they're not going to do anything.
Okay.
Because Cad Bane is the leader. He's the best leader right now. You can play other stuff, and there are decks that have game into a Cad Bane deck, but overall he is the dominant force in the metagame. But the reason that he is dominant force in the metagame is only because he is the best leader that can be paired with blue. Because if you play anything else if you can, I am firmly of the opinion that the problems are Pre-Vizsla and Chimera.
Right.
And you have these two cards that were just released that are like $50-$60 cards, and they've only been legal for less than a month, and those are the problem. If you lop Cad Bane off, you're going to have a bunch of different leaders.
Talzin steps up, takes his place. Like, pick one. There's somebody.
Whoever it is, it'll be a couple of weeks until everything shakes out. Of a bunch of people playing things to play with Pre-Vizsla and Chimera, and then one of those will be a little bit better than the other ones, and that'll be the next one. So I don't think it's a Cad Bane problem at all, and I also don't think they're going to do anything about it because it's so little time until the next set, and they're going to create, because they can't ban you. They cannot ban Chimera and Pre-Vizsla at this point because there's so much money tied up in those cards.
Would ruin sales. It would ruin sales.
Infuriate people.
Yeah.
And so you just can't pull. It's just an economic trigger you can't pull. And they're not going to ban CAD because I don't think they're. I think that they're smart enough to see that the CAD is not the issue. CAD is just the best one at using those two. And then as soon and the rest of blue, like it's not like it's Pre-Vizsla and Chimera and a bunch of crap. It's like they are just the dominant cherries on top that allow blue to wreck everything right now. And it's super strong all the way up to curve. And now you have the two best cards. These may be the two best cards they've ever printed.
It's pretty close to it.
So I don't think they're going to do anything. I think they're going to cross their fingers and hope that Homeworlds does something to solve it, and because it's such a short window because they're stacking releases so quickly here. I think they're just going to let it slide, and they're just not going to say anything. So that's my opinion on it. Is it's not a CAD thing? It's these two cards things that they made way too powerful, which clearly were not play tested very well, or play tested by people who thought they would just wanted to play them, and their FFG is going to be like. Nothing.
So
hopefully Homeworlds will fix it.
So I first of all, I agree with you that Chimera, and I would honestly rank Chimera as a larger problem than Pre, but Chimera is definitely a problem. Okay. How many lists have you looked at for Mando Colossus these days? Have you seen some of those lists going around? Okay.
Yeah, he's playing Chimera off color.
Exactly. The card
Chimera
is
such a good card.
The card is so stupidly good that blue hero decks are playing 2 and 3 copies of it because it's simply blue hero. It's simply the best top end one of the best top end cards available in the game. Period. For what it does.
It's the best top end card. There's nothing better.
Yeah.
But you guys are calling it top end, but at 7 it's mid. Like that's mid range. You're talking a turn after most leaders flip out. Most leaders flip at 6, right? So you're talking at what the turn after your leader hits the board, like you're just sacking the world, bro.
Yeah.
It's too low. It should have been 8. It's just off cost. But I haven't been watching results, so I don't really know what the results are. But I can tell you, yeah, it's a red blue villainy issue. And aggressive negotiations has never felt worse to be on the other end of at this point.
I would argue it's not a red-blue villain issue. I would argue that it is a blue villain issue, period. End of discussion. Because I was having this conversation briefly in the KTOD Discord a few days ago, right? You guys know me, I'm an aggro player. If I could play double red until the day I die, I'd be totally happy. Okay? But we have reached a point now in the overall overarching meta of the game. Where are the speed aggro decks? Where are they? They don't exist. They cannot exist in the current environment. There's too much Sentinel. There's too much Sentinel. They printed, look at what they just printed out of this latest set. There's a 4/3 shielded Sentinel in blue-black, and there's a red-blue-black 2/6 Sentinel for 3. A 3-drop, a 6 wall.
Yeah.
You can just throw down. You can't play aggro in this environment right now. It can't go anywhere. You can't even play, like, we watched Jack here, a local player, right back in April, win a PQ in Austin with speed aggro out of Chewbacca yellow, right? You can't do that right now. Anything ground aggro just dies. The only aggro decks in the environment are space aggro decks, and they only work off of leaders that flip on 6. That's not speed. Speed is the 4 or maybe a 5 leader that you can really get some good work out of. It's aggro doesn't exist right now. And as a result, these crazy control decks and these crazy top-end cards that cost 7, 8, 9, whatever, you can't kill somebody fast enough. They get to that, and then you just can't kill them at all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would tell you that if you take CAD's not the answer, because if you pull him out, the guy who did the Dinosaur Gaming, he came in 10th
with Townsend.
With Townsend,
a great deck.
So, great deck. So if you pull CAD out, there you go. There's your number 1 deck right away.
And that's
but see, when you say it like that, I mean, this agrees with you. But when you say it like that, oh, they played CAD or this guy played Townsend, it's the same 50 cards, or at least it's 42 of the same 50 cards.
It's pretty close.
It's not the leader.
Yeah,
it's the cards in the deck.
Yeah,
which are all the same.
Yeah, I would honestly argue one of the best things they could do for the environment right now is not necessarily to ban CAD. I think you could ban Imperial Armored Commando. I think that would help a little bit. It's dirt common. People aren't going to complain. Nobody's losing money on it. And is it going to fix everything? No. Is it going to move the needle? It is a little bit, in my opinion. I'd be curious to at least try it. Trey, you made an interesting point a moment ago about, these cards weren't, playtester. Maybe this is a playtester fail. I'm not convinced necessarily in that, because you and I have both worked in playtest teams for games. And many times you tell the designers, guys, this card is too powerful. This card is incredibly strong, or whatever. And sometimes that's exactly what they want. So in my opinion, you can't necessarily throw everything at the feet of a failed playtest, because very commonly, and I went through this with the old SWCCG back in the day, you tell the dev team, guys, we feel like this is crazy. And they'll look you in the eye and say, that's fine. Crazy's what we're going for. And that's it. That's their decision. You don't get a say because it's not your game.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe.
The numbers are rough though right now. Rough. If you look at it, CAD has 50% of the wins.
Last
the
weekend
PQ so far.
Last weekend he did. I haven't looked at this weekend's numbers yet.
I'm looking at it right now. He's got 50% of the PQ wins so far. He's 26%. He's 26% of the top 8. Mm-hmm. Or I'm sorry, he's 30% of the top 8 with Vader right behind at 11.
Sure.
But if they emergency ban CAD after Galactics, you have this almost exactly the same thing happen. It's just a smattering of people playing different leaders that are in blue. Yeah, so it's categorizing them, using the shortcut to say this deck has this leader, so therefore it's distinctly different from this deck that has this other leader. It's a shortcut that is not applicable in this situation. You just have to look at everybody's playing blue.
This isn't Django. This isn't where the leader is driving the garbage play experience. The leader is strong. Don't get me wrong.
All the great cards.
Exactly.
Bro.
Cat is a very strong leader with a very strong ability, but he is not the driver for this deck. If you yank him out, somebody else, you lop off the head of the Hydra, another one's going to grow back, and that's just the way it's going to be. So I'm with you, Trey. I think they've kind of boxed themselves into a corner here, and the problem cards are these power legendaries. I would argue that Chimera is, and I said this a minute ago, right? The more offensive than pre-Vizsla. But will they do anything in that regard, man? I'm like you. I don't know if they can. I think they're probably going to go, well, this is not great, but let's just kick back and hope the next set solves it for us. Because what else?
Yeah,
can we do?
Homeworld's is right around the corner.
Yeah,
I think that's why they're going to not do anything is because Homeworld's is so close. It's less than 2 months away now, I guess, or it's about 2 months away.
Homeworld's spoilers start tomorrow morning. Apparently, like the official spoiler cycle starts tomorrow morning. As we record.
Strange question. Yeah. Real quick. Strange question. Cause I don't know enough about TCGs, but this question just popped into my mind. They're basically releasing 2 sets back to back. You have one in October, you have one in November. What are the chances that they could move a set forward? Is there any grace period?
Zero.
Okay. I just didn't know. Like that would be an option. It's a logistics thing.
It's all about the logistics, I think.
It's the logistics of coordinating they have to get all of these because it's printed all over the world. It's not just one printer. And then they have to stage shipping and it has to go to distributors and then they have to get it and inventory it and then chop it up and send it out. I mean, it's just a huge logistics nightmare to send something out like this out.
Let's be honest. FFG is about to attempt something that they've never attempted before, to my knowledge, which is put out 2 very large print runs of major sets, basically, as Ian points out, within a few weeks of each other.
Yeah, weeks.
Like this was a company that struggled to move Destiny product across the Pacific Ocean, and now here we are 7 years later, and we're attempting something and like on a much larger scale. So I'm going to be really curious to see if they pull it off successfully. All right, well. We'll see. I mean, all we can do is keep tabs on the meta and see where it goes. But that's not really what we're here to talk about tonight, guys. We want to talk about Twin Suns. Now, this format was announced very, very soon on the heels of the game releasing, all the way back in set 1. And back in set 1, the rules for building a TS deck were a little different because there was only the one set. It was still singleton, but it was 50 cards, not 80. And still 2 leaders. You guys, both of you, were early adopters of Twin Suns. So, in other words, you guys literally tried it back in set 1. So, played
it regularly?
Exactly. So, what is it about, Ian? What is it about the format that originally piqued your interest and drew you in, and then, like, kind of what keeps you coming back for more?
It's creating fun combos is what my favorite thing about it is, like cheating actions out, right? So in the first set, it was really fun to like get out K2SO, burn him and beat everybody up on the board, right? I thought that was really cool. Or making him discard a card. I still love playing that card. Then in set 2, when we were playing Twin Suns, now I can timely him into a unit, blow him up, and maybe get a kill. Yeah. And then so I basically played that combo until I could get that combo out, and then I finally got that kill, and then I moved on to a different deck and a different combo. I just love cheating out actions. Like, it's really fun to like be able to play like 4 actions because you have so many different color combinations you can play. I like the singleton format because I didn't need, especially when the first set was out, it was very difficult to get cards. So it was my decks were definitely more competitive in Twin Suns than they were pulling out the regulars because I didn't have the Vaders or the Avengers or the Super Laser Blast to play the cool fun stuff that everybody was killing me with over and over again. So it was really fun to, be able to put in a singleton deck together. So that was what drew me to it. And then it helped me learn the game a lot faster too. Like, I think I'm a better deck builder and I think I'm a better player because of watching a Twin Suns board and watching what other people do too, because you get to watch 3 other people take an action before you, so it changes the board each time they make an action. But it's interesting to watch them play their own combos, and I've seen some things work on a Twin Suns table that I've never seen work before. Mando, or what was it? Set 2 had Boba Fett and Fennec Shan, which were trash leaders. Nobody played him in Premiere. I hadn't seen anybody play him in Twin Suns. And somebody sat down at a table with us and played him together. And he's ambushing out his units with a +1 because that's how the text reads. And I was like, damn, that's actually really brilliant. Some of the combos I've seen leader-wise have been really neat. Like, Trey had one that, like, if he ever sat down and played it again, I'm just going to scoop. Or only attack Trey. If he played his Chewie Ray deck. Oh my god. Oh my god. That thing was so frustrating.
We're gonna talk more about that later on, but please continue.
But I just everything about it. I've just loved it. I've just loved it. I don't know, everything.
Trey, what about you?
I'll stop rambling so somebody else can talk.
You're good. What is it about the format that drew you in? What keeps you coming back for more?
All right, so there are two things. If you ask me, so there's the whole gamut, and I reference this from time to time. The article written by Mark Rosewater about Magic back in the day about the why do you play these games? What do you do? And it's the whole Timmy Johnny Spike thing was what he originally started with. Do you play this to prove that you're smarter and better than everybody else? Do you play this because you like the creativity of building deck to build whatever? The things that I enjoy about this game and games like this, just playing games in general, but especially what I call a lifestyle game like this, where you can have a podcast and you spend a lot of time outside of when you're sitting at the table playing the game, thinking about the game, this particular game. So what I most enjoy about this type of game is having a group of friends that I get to get out of the house and go spend time with, sit across the table from, and have a common thing that we do together. And it's not, I can do that with board games. I do have friends that I play board games with, but it feels like starting over every time. By doing it with a lifestyle game like this, it feels like every week I'm adding to the lore of our group by expanding and going forward. And I love stories. I love the way that this stuff is built together, and having that group of people. So it is a very big social element to this, to me. And there's so much about Twin Suns and Commander and Magic, which I have played back in the day, but not nearly like I played this. Commander is I get to sit down with 3 people instead of 1 person. And I get to interact with all these different people, and I get to play in a social setting where it's a very much a lean back setting where you lean back and you're kind of talking to people and watching it. Whereas if you're playing heads up in Premiere or Eternal or whatever, it is lean forward, pay attention to cards on the board. It is not so much what's in your hand, what your opponent's doing. It's very much the cards on the table, which I enjoy. I can enjoy, but I do prefer the casual nature of it, because what I hate about this type of game is how it's only possible to be really good at this game and play at the upper echelons by work. And I do enough work in the rest of my life. I don't want to do work in this game. I don't want to grind out games to figure out.
Preach,
so
brother. I do those emojis. This is like a huge thumbs up emoji.
Preach, brother.
I don't like the pathways, the work that it takes to build up the neural pathways so that any situation that arises between you and me playing this game, I've seen before. I know what to do with my deck. I know that, but it's that having that reflex to do it instantly and do it at that high of a level. I hate it. Was cool. It's cool to be there. I've been there before. I've played games lever, but the path to get to that point is just misery to me, and I don't want to do it. And it's why I don't play in very many high level tournaments. It's why I go to Galactics and don't even think about playing Premier. And I get excited about the only Premier game I played was borrowing somebody's deck to play against a developer because that's all he had available. So that's one reason that I like this. The other reason that I find this game particularly enjoyable, Twin Suns particularly enjoyable, is very similar to why I like Limited so much, because as much as I don't like the grind, I do like challenging myself. I have a very high intelligence, and I like putting the puzzle in front of me with no preparation and seeing how I can figure it out. I want to throw everything in front of me. I have no work. Like, how quickly can I assess the situation, solve the puzzle, and make the choice? Which, when you're playing Limited, that's a very similar thing to Limited. If you open it 6 packs of sealed, you've got to make the choice on, like, you've never seen this combination of cards. How do you put them together? And then when you play, it's a bunch of cards you've never played before. So you're solving problems on the spot rather than the work of knowing this deck into this deck is a 52% win rate. And in this situation, I do this, and I'm waiting on, like, that part's boring. I like the challenge in the moment of solving the issues on the spot. And with Twin Suns, I'm not just playing my 80 card deck. I have an 80 card deck where all the cards are different. So it's going to play very different cards every single time. But my opponent's has an 80. That one has an 80 card deck. That one has an 80 card deck, and that one has an 80 card deck. So we're at what? That's 320 different cards and 8 different leaders that have never sat down at the table together before. This exact combination never sat down at the table before. I've never seen this exact combination of stuff on the board. And when I'm trying to, I set myself to try and conquer this puzzle, it is an entire new set. I mean, I can kind of generalize some of the things I've seen, but it's an entire new set of inputs that I've never seen before. And it is a thrilling exercise for my brain to try and work out this puzzle in the moment. And just having a singleton format where we're with this many decks involved feeds into that solve the puzzle in the instant moment. So those are the two things that really put me on the seat of absolutely. I always have a Twin Suns deck on me when we go play. We played Premier this week, and I was halfway through one game. Katie and Fred showed up. I'm like, yes, we're doing Twin Suns now. And like, we screw this Twin Premier stuff. Ian, grab your Twin Suns deck. Jason, grab your Twin Suns deck.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So that's what I truly enjoy about this. I love the lean back aspect of it, and then I love just the electricity in my brain that gets lit up everywhere because of the complexity of having to solve this issue on the spot and trying to figure out the best play for me to advance my game.
Okay.
So Wes, you were
you
you were a late adopter, bro. Like it took us some time to get you to really like enjoy it.
You were resistant. It wasn't just I don't know about this. You were like, Wes is like, no, this is dumb. I hate this.
So you have to remember that my first Twin Suns experience wasn't messing around weekly play with you guys. Exactly. Our local TO, Jason, decided he wanted to try and rough out what a Twin Suns tournament format would look like. Okay, fine. And I was like, all right, well, I've never tried this. The deck experience is different, is interesting. So I built a deck, and that was my first experience. It was sitting down across from people, in a quote unquote tournament environment. It was like a mock thing. We weren't actually playing for anything. He was just trying out this scoring system for Twin Suns to see if you could structure a tournament this way. And I played 2 games, both of which I didn't get backstabbed. I got stabbed right in the face, right in the heart, right, by the player sitting directly across from me, which I think in both games was ball deep, now that I think back on it. I think it was.
You sat down with the Joker from The Dark Knight Returns.
Literally, like some men just want to watch the world burn, and that was my first TS experience. Now, that I realize now looking back on it, that part of my multiplayer CCG experience in that regard, right, I was coming from a very different world. In the late 90s, I played the old precedence Babylon 5 CCG, which was designed primarily as a 4-player game, just like Twin Suns. It was different than anything else in that era, right? Very much like Unlimited. Every player would act. There was an initiative order, and every player took one action, and you just kept going around the table until everybody was basically done with whatever they were going to do in the turn. Very much like Unlimited. And it was a very interactive game. Tons of back and forth, tons of deal making, tons of table talk, tremendous amount of fun. But a good game would last, 90 minutes reliably. Like sometimes we would just drag them out and they would go on for 4 hours, but you didn't have to do that. And so I sat down in the mindset of, all right, we're all here to win. We're all here to make smart decisions about what we're going to do. And what I discovered very quickly, as you guys pointed out, some people just love pulling the pin on the hand grenade, setting it on the table, and seeing what'll happen. Right. And in a tournament environment, my brain rebels at this idea. Right. It's like, what are we doing? You should be trying to make the optimal play for whatever your board state and your initiative position is to try and win the game. And rather than that, like in my very first game of Twin Suns, I think I had like 10 HP left. OK. And Ball Deep sitting across from me has initiative, and his one unit on the board is a Corvus with Iden Versio on it as a pilot. Beautiful unit, right? And the player who's going to go act next is Palpatine, is going to flip out his Emperor Palpatine that turn, and this Corvus has some damage on it. So he knows he's about to lose this unit. And rather than like do something else or attack the Emperor with it or something, he attacks me with it. Like, well, I'm going to lose it anyway. And I'm like, yeah, but you literally just set me on a batting tee for the guy who's going next. Why do you not want to win the game? And I'm like, oh, come on. So I really struggled. And I finally, over time, kind of had to come around to the realization that, look, you can't You can go into TS hoping to win, trying to win, but you have to go in with a mindset of, look, just enjoy it. Like it's the term that I used trying to talk to people at Galactics about it was, you have to come at it with the attitude of like a beer and pretzels game, right? You're going to sit down with some friends. You're going to throw cards. You're going to have a good time. You're going to have some laughs, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't devolve into screaming and throwing cards at each other. But, this isn't a game of diplomacy. Okay, we hope. All right. But if you come in with that mindset and you just treat it like, embrace the chaos, as Ian likes to say, it's a different, it works. And I had to kind of retrain my brain to get to that point. Now, that was part of it for me. The other part of it was coming around to the realization of I love themes in decks. I'm a theme guy. I'm a tribal guy. I love that. And Twin Suns caters to that better than any format in the game, right? Yeah. Premier is very, like the tribal leaders they've tried to print in Premier, they've basically dropped like a bad habit and walked away from. Got leaders like Phasma and Holdo. They printed these great abilities, great leaders, and then given them nothing to work with. Leaders like Wedge, which isn't really tribal, more like mechanic, but same idea. And so finally, I just got fed up with trying to make these leaders work in Premier because it became clear that FFG was never going to do that. So finally, I was like, you know what I can do? I can play Twin Suns. I can play Tarkin and play Imperial Tribal and Twin Suns and have an evergreen deck that I just continually update with little as they print more Imperial cards, I'll go tweak my Twin Suns deck, right? And I have my beautiful Imperial deck that I love to play, and I'm going to build me a Rebel deck at some point that functions the same kind of tribal thing because I love just the thematic. I love themes. I'm a theme guy when it comes to games. So the theme of being able to put all these rebels in a big pile and have fun with it, and maybe I win, and maybe I don't, but I don't care. I'm playing the rebellion, would be fun. So that's the other thing for me is that Twin Suns supports themed decks better than Premier, and I think probably always will, in my opinion.
Go ahead. I crushed a game. I play a tribal deck. I play a Rebel tribal deck, and that new Leia unit that came out kept me in the game for probably an extra turn that I shouldn't have survived.
Which one? Oh, the blue one out of the latest set?
Yeah, the blue one. Okay. She was good.
She was really good. I was really surprised. It was pretty awesome, actually. Thank goodness for her.
She was on my list, but everybody kept playing like something just a little bit more important to kill.
Yeah.
Sentinel or whatever. I was trying to kill her, but so yeah. And then all right, now we know how. I'm not the one that normally does the transitions like this, but now we know how we all got here and what we like about it. We are our own enclave of playing Twin Suns. And Wes, you and I had the opportunity to go to Galactics, and these enclaves of Twin Suns people mashed together in one big thing. And so we would sit down and play with somebody from Nebraska or somebody from Minneapolis. So what did you take away from that, Wes?
What I loved about that, for starters, in my opinion, if you go into Galactics, and you enjoy, like, if you tried TS and you're not going for the main event, you're just going to play and have a good time, I would highly encourage you for future events, carve some time out to play Twin Suns with just pickup games, random people. It is a fabulous way to meet people. You're going to meet people from all over. They're going to have whatever ridiculous decks. You're going to see leaders and combos and cards you will never see on the table again, possibly. Like, it's just so much fun. What I learned is that Twin Suns seems to be just growing steadily. If you'll recall last year, right, there were Twin Suns pods were available as an option in the on-demand side area. Now, I don't know how many they ran, but I know it was way less than what they ran for Premier and Win-A-Box in the 2025 GC, for example. But this year, they ran a lot of them. In fact, on Saturday, they ran more Twin Suns pods than any other type of on-demand event, which I think is really noteworthy.
Yeah, that's really cool. It was right up there. The Twin Suns and Premier. Because one of our buddies, Brandon, who's probably listening to this, he was a judge in the side event area, and Jason Griffin and I had dinner with him afterwards. We were chatting, and he told us the numbers of like this many pods of this fired and this many pods of this fired, and it was neck and neck with Premier and Twin Suns. So it was pretty impressive, pretty exciting.
No, it crushed. According to the numbers, it crushed Premier.
So every single day they fired more Twin Suns pods than they fired Premier on-demand pods.
That's awesome.
Yes, when you
Eternal, man.
When you well, okay, Eternal doesn't really have a following right now.
No.
They ended
Do you
up,
think if just a quick question, looking at the numbers,
yeah.
Do you think that Twin Suns would have been number one if everybody who was in day 2 didn't practice draft that day?
You mean like on day 1?
Yeah, on day 1. So on Friday, everybody who was automatically in day 2, from what I've listened to their podcast,
was playing draft.
They were all drafting.
Yeah, they were all cranking out draft. Yeah, trying to just practice, get the practice in. There's no substitute for live drafting like practicing a live draft.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't think so. I suspect most of those guys, if they really wanted to, would have been grinding out Premier Pods instead for tickets or something. I don't think you generally, in my experience, there does not seem to be a tremendous amount of overlap between the competitive folks and the Twin Suns folks. They seem to kind of be in parallel lanes, and there are some people that cross, but it's a very low number. Am I crazy? But it feels that way to me.
No, that's exactly right, because you've got, and it's actually if in an invite only tournament, it's not that many people that are being pulled out to do it. It's,
That's a good
80,
point.
100, whatever it is.
Point. Yeah.
Or more than that. But still, like, yeah, there's very little overlap. Most people are either in the camp of I'm doing this to grind it out and do well and see if I can win the championship so I can get the shiny cards and the trophy, or you enjoy doing this to play cards with your buddies and you want to go hang out. Like there's.
The other thing that really stuck out to me, Trey, and you commented on this at the time. You and I have talked about it off and on. We talked about it at the GC since. It felt like when you would sit down with a new group of people, especially if you were like the outsider and the 3 of them knew each other, or maybe there were 2 people that had played together, everybody had some house rules, some kind of house rules.
Every single one.
Yeah, they all had little house rules.
Every group.
To tweak certain things that just maybe don't feel quite fully baked yet in the way Twin Suns works.
It wasn't that everybody found a different problem. Every single group. I feel like chumps because we're playing the regular rules when we get
we haven't changed anything.
I haven't changed anything. I want to, but nobody seems to have gotten on board with it. But every single group has they make plan better. Mm-hmm. And then a chunk of the groups, not every group, has done something to make the games last longer by adding 10 health to the base or something like that. But every single group that we played with had done something with plan. The one that I enjoyed the most was they said plan is just draw a card.
Yeah, and I like that.
There's some groups.
I like that.
There's some groups where it was if you have no card, plan is plan unless you have no cards in hand, and then you can draw a card, which seems a little less complicated. But when we would play games, and because it would always sit down, introduce yourself. Hi, what's going on? How are you? Where are you from? That sort of thing. And then whoever it was, they would be like, okay, so when we play at home, we have a house rule where insert how we fix the plan token here. And when we, do you want to play that or you want to play the original way? And let's try that. So every time that we played plan just draws a card, like it became competitive. Like it was a real choice of do I want to go first? Do I want to hit everybody's base or do I want to draw a card?
Do I need a card? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's huge.
It was actually
perfect. It's a big deal.
I would adopt that rule tomorrow.
Well, you very well might get your chance this week.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. Yeah, it would make plan when you're like, I guess I'll take plan. Like that's how we play plan. That's every table I've ever sat down to at Dragon's Lair.
Nobody wants it really.
Oh, I guess I'll take plan. Or it's like, can I just pass? And we're like, no, you have to take plan. Like, if it was just draw a card, there would be times where I would take it over initiative.
Like,
man, I have to draw a card because maybe it's a sentinel. Like I need to get an extra card in my hand. Like, let's get another card. Mm-hmm. Like that's I love that.
Yep. I like that one too.
And an adjunct to that is there was the Twin Suns panel, which we'll talk about in a minute. But at the end of the Twin Suns panel, they had to get ready for the next one coming up pretty quickly. So there was no Q&A. But after it's over, Joe, one of the guys that works on Twin Suns, is a designer of the game, and he put together the Mall Sauvage pre-contact. Mm-hmm. He was on the panel, and I walked up to the front and chatted with him for a minute. And I didn't ask him if there were plans to change anything because I couldn't imagine that he would be at liberty to say something like that. But I did ask him, I said, look, we're out there playing this game and every single group has addressed this, like the plan issue, and a lot of them address the base issue. So the house rules where everybody is agreeing on the same house rule, is that something that you guys are listening to internally and factoring into what you plan to do with the rest of the future of this format? And he said, yes, we are listening to that.
That's good.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means something is going to change. could mean nothing, but that he did say that they do see that everybody's fixing the issues that every group is independently seeing and fixing in the same way.
I like
of
it.
Plan being broken.
That's encouraging. It's encouraging. That was a really good panel. They had what they did.
Almost.
They did was what they did. Oh, please! They brought it.
So it was almost a good panel. I should have been on there. I think about this stuff structurally. I need to be on. I need to play the game more, I guess, online because I had so many things to add.
Then what you need to do, Trey, is get out there and become the face of TS on YouTube. Right? There's a bunch of different groups out there. They had brought in AJ from the Salty Smugglers. You had Joe, of course, was there. There were two other guys who I can see their faces and I can't remember their names because I'm terrible.
Did they have anybody from
Take
the Blast?
I think maybe that was who was hosting it, if memory serves.
Okay.
But in any event, they were all they basically had Joe O'Neill, right, from the dev team, and then 3 of the dedicated content creators who focus on Twin Suns were on this panel. And they just, they talked about the format. They asked each other kind of what for some of their favorite cards were. I walked up afterwards and gave them a shout out for one of your favorite cards, Ian, which was Aya Valdani, which is just the beautiful little chaos grenade you can throw on the table for cheap.
In the heat of battle.
In the heat of battle, that was actually listed. Yeah. That one came up during the panel, right? That was one of the ones on somebody's list. So yeah, for sure.
I play that every chance I can. It saved me a round.
Yeah, it was a good panel.
This time, I won through it. This time.
Yeah, he did. He did. He won through it.
It's a story for later, but I won through it.
There we go. But it was a really good panel. And I was, I'm glad to see them, putting the level of attention and dedication they are into TS. And I think, we got the pre-constructed decks this year. And for my money, one of the biggest announcements out of the GC was that starting with set 11, every single regular non-icons expansion is going to come with 2 brand new pre-constructed Twin Suns going forward. I love that.
It's to prevent people from doing math. Set 11 is the set that comes out next summer.
Yes, so we're about a year away, like a little less than a year at this point.
Yeah, the Ashes of the Empire of next year.
Yeah, next May, actually. It'll be out. It's called System Overload. It'll be out right before next Galactics, they said. So yeah, you're about, what are we, about 9-10 months away, something like that. But I think that's going to be awesome because it gives them an opportunity not only to move the needle on Twin Suns by coming up with whatever they're going to come up with, but also allows them to interject cards directly into the Eternal environment, which they can't do right now without passing cards through the Premier environment. But now they can just say, well, we're going to mess with an Eternal. So it'll give them an opportunity to maybe entice more people into playing the Eternal format, which right now really doesn't have a big following just yet. So I'm sure they're thinking along those lines as well. Now, Trey, we played a lot of TS at Galactics, and you guys have played a lot of TS locally. What are some kind of do's and don'ts you would recommend for players, even veterans, but certainly folks who maybe haven't tried TS? Let's say you were sitting down with someone and you were trying to, maybe convince them or help them get started on their Twin Suns journey here in Star Wars Unlimited. What kind of do's and don'ts would you give them for both deck building and interacting with players at a table?
So there's actually different answers to this depending on who you're sitting around with. So, but one of the biggest things that I do when I sit down at a table is I read the table about who am I playing with and what level are we doing this at? Because I don't want to, I love sitting down from people who are going to play like Cutthroat. We do this a lot. Let's sit down and go at each other. I enjoy that. But if it's somebody, when you and I sat down, was it you and I? No, it was me and Jason. Jason and I sat down with a father and son at,
you told me this story.
On the last day. We sat down with a father and son, and it became
2v2.
More about well, so it did become 2v2 because the son just wouldn't attack his dad, and I'm like, that's not how it's but it was
it's the
more
one place
about,
you should do it. You're allowed. Come on.
Exactly. That's what Jason was saying. But it was more about they had never played Twin Suns. They just I don't remember if they built their own decks, but they were very new to the format, and so it was about teaching them about what Twin Suns could be. And so I read the table. I said, I'm still going to try to win this game at the end, but I'm going to play in such a way that these guys are involved and engaged, and they feel the rush of what it's like to what it's like to be a Twin Suns player. And so we did. That's how we played that game. On the other hand, one thing I will say that you do not do is, if you are good at the game, say you build your powerful decks, which is, I do build powerful decks. I build a bunch of trial decks, and I try to make them as powerful as possible. Anyway, so if you go to Galactics and you sign up for a random pickup Twin Suns game, and you sit down with some people, don't flop your case on the table and tell everybody how good you are at the game. Don't say, I have crazy powerful decks. I play this all the time. I'm really good at this. What do you want me to play? Do you want me to treat this? Do you want me to treat you guys like kids and just play my little silly fun decks? Or do you want to? Don't do that.
So, because you just get a little weird marker and just draw a little bullseye right there on his forehead for the whole table to see.
What happens.
V1. You better be able to beat 3v1.
Wow. 3v1 is tough, kids.
I had a situation. So when I went to Galactics, I took this Ray Chewy deck it's so far it's the one that I've got that I think is the most powerful. I took a couple other ones that I had built. So I had several Twin Suns decks. I did not know how the level of competition. I didn't know if I was going to sit down with a bunch of sharks, and so I did not want to take some crappy deck to my first one and just get blown out by a bunch of people who were playing at super high levels. So I sat down with my Ray Chewy deck, and I played a game. One of the other people at the table, and I don't know if he intended to come across this way or not. I think because I'm not malicious to anybody, and I think the best of everybody, I think he was really trying to gauge what level of competition are we going to play this at? Because he could bring out his version of Ray Chewy, or he could bring out whatever experimental deck he had. But that's not how it came across. It came across as, I'm about to flop my Johnson on this table, and you're all going to lose.
And you're all going to lose. Okay.
You're all going to lose. That's just how it came across. And so, but one of my tips about this is,
don't do that.
Well, don't do that. But we play, and I have this conversation every so often. We have a hobby. We are in an environment and a milieu of people that are of varying social skill levels. Yeah. And so I know that when I was in high school, I was awkward and I was not good at social skills. And I know that is, I skewed to the autistic side, and I didn't really know how to interact with people. And I have had to spend most of my adult life learning how to be somebody that other people want to be around. And not everybody in our group, if you go to some place, you go to Kegger in high school, those people have already developed social skills. If that's your thing, that's what they spent their time doing. They didn't spend their time shuffling up pieces of cardboard and trying to win games. And so we exist in a hobby, not just SWU, but just gaming in general, where it is a mixture of various social skill people. So when you put yourself into a social game like this, it will enhance the weaknesses that you have. It will expose the weaknesses that you have when it comes to being socially interactive with other people, understanding how you come across, and accomplishing what you want to accomplish when you're with other people. And so I genuinely, if thinking back on it, I don't think that he tried to just flop it on the table and say, I'm about to whoop you all. I think he was genuinely trying to, but it came across that way. And so I'm playing my Ray Chewy deck, which is a very turtley deck. It just hides behind Sentinels. It restores. I usually, if I win with that deck, it's rare that I have less than the 33 health that I have on my base. And if I have less, it's 1 or 2. And so I did that, but I was super friendly and welcoming. I mean, even with the guy that said that, I was chatty. I was, hey, what's going on? How are you doing? It's not a fake thing. I'm not putting that on. I genuinely like getting to know people, but I just let that part of me self-expose. I talk to the guy on my left. I talk to the guy across from me in the guy catty corner. I treat it like a way to have that. And so by doing so, excuse me, it got to where I was way ahead of everybody else. So I had the requisite 30, 31 health left on my base. The two people that were not this guy were at 15 damage on their base. And this guy was just getting pounded. And he kept being like, has so much health on his base. Why are you not attacking him? And they would go, I don't know. Here, take 4. And they would just immediately attack him, and just one right after the other. And it's exclusively because they looked at me as friendly and a friend, because I was being friendly and a friend, and I was not the one that sat down and went, I'm about to whoop you all. And so that's my don't do. Like treat especially if you're playing with strangers. Like if you're playing with your friends, whatever is acceptable in your friend group, that's what you do. But if you're playing with strangers, be respectful of them as people. Treat them like they're competent adversaries, even if they're brand new to the game. Treat them with respect. And like I genuinely get interested in who they are as people and why they play the game. And like because you're playing a social game, be social with these people in a good way. In a positive, leave them thinking positively about you when they leave. Unless they're so wrapped up in losing that they get upset when you beat them.
Ian, I'm going to pass the baton to you in a minute because I want your thoughts on this. But before we get away from this topic, I'm going to quote for everybody a line that Trey typed into our little running chat thread the morning that this game occurred. I'm going to leave out the expletives, but he says quite literally, this is the quote: "I may have brought a 59 caliber gun to a water gun fight. No one is prepared for Ray Chewy." And I replied to him, "Why do you think people dogpile you locally in Twin Suns? They're still getting revenge for you playing that deck."
Well, I immediately put it away when I found out what was there. I immediately put it away. I think I played like one more game the rest of the day with it, and then I went to other ones. Yeah. But no, they were not ready for the level of what I could do with that deck.
Depravity is the word that I would choose.
And practice you've had with it.
Yeah,
not a lot of people get a chance to practice Twin Suns.
That's true.
You put that together a long time ago, my friend. And
you've been playing Ray Chewy since set 2.
Wielding it for quite a while.
Yeah, it's a finely honed instrument at this point.
So, Trey, you went over a lot of your socials do's and don'ts. I want to hear some of your deck building do's and don'ts because you didn't really cover that.
I want to hear both. I want to hear from both of you on that one. You guys have built more TS decks than I have, so I want to hear these.
We have one similarity, I think. So I would just say deck building wise, the number one thing I would say is play Vigilance. You cannot play this game without play blue. You cannot play without the blue aspect. It's impossible. You need the Sentinels from it.
Impossible is a strong word.
I was going to say I wouldn't choose that word.
If you're building your first Twin Suns deck,
I would highly recommend it.
Okay, if you're getting into Twin Suns, use Vigilance.
Yes, there I agree.
There are decks that you can build without it. Yes, but I would say that if you're new to the game, build with it. Yes. I won't build without it anymore. I think it holds 2 really great things in it. It holds all of the Sentinels that you want that are well played on good par. Every Sentinel you want to play is in blue that's on good par. That doesn't feel bad to play. There are some, I don't know, there's some Sentinels out there in yellow that don't feel great to play, but you'll play it because it's Sentinel. And the amount of great chaos cards in blue, whether you're playing blue villainy or whether you're playing blue heroism, okay? Trey actually got somebody, I hear, at Galactics with 1 in a million.
Yes.
Oh god, that was amazing.
Insane.
Amazing.
That is insane.
So much
right?
fun.
I can't count the number of games I flipped with In the Heat of the Battle or Isle of Eldani. I can't count the number of just scrambling. It changes the table almost immediately.
Close the shield gate.
The shield gate. Right?
One cost. Cheap.
These just random. There's just random games.
Yeah.
The other thing it holds.
Go ahead.
And the other thing that Vigilance holds that I think is important, especially if you're playing villainy, is it holds the removal. It holds all the removal you want. That can be very, very nice at certain times. So a well-played Rival's Fall is still a really great card, and you can't play it without it.
I can't disagree with that.
Here's the structural, like, math, physics reasons of why I think blue is so powerful in the game. It has to do with the multiplayer nature of the game and the asymmetrical way that you deal with your opponents versus your opponents dealing with you. Because you are fighting 3 other people. Well, let's just back up. In Premier, you're fighting 1 person. So if you want to go full out blitz attack, that is a way that you can win the game, is full out blitz attack the 1 person across from you, because they have to withstand it or out blitz you. That is a completely non-viable strategy when it comes to Twin Suns, because you go all out, you overextend yourself, and you're going to get flanked by the other 2 people. and they're going to get ganged up on or attacked, or even if you get there, you're going to put it in such a way that somebody else has an easy opportunity to get the kill. So because you're dealing with 3 other people, it is not an effective strategy for your primary method of dealing with somebody to reach across the table and mess with somebody else. It is far simpler to only concentrate on yourself and make it less appealing for other people to try and attack you, and you not be the low-hanging fruit. And that's Sentinel, that's the high, it's mostly Sentinel actually, but it's some of the heal, it's some of the, but it's you by concentrating on yourself, you only have to, and protecting yourself, the turtling up it's a function of the multiplayer game of, by turtling up, you are stopping 3 people from attacking you. If you try to kill one person and you extend yourself to reach across the table and hurt somebody else, the other players are going to get in this, and they can either take you out or they can race you and knock them out, and you're not going to win. It's just it's your deck can only really take care of one person, and if you take care of yourself, then let the other people fight, and then at the end you can jump in.
The other thing is that if there are any little dribble drabs of healing cards, they're almost all in blue. A simple card like Repair out of set 1 for a single point, heal 3 off a unit, heal 3 off a base. That's like an auto include to me if you're playing blue. Like, why would you not? Those kinds of things are really handy. So yeah, blue's got a lot going for it. Go ahead, Ian.
The other thing I would say is, like what Wes said, do a theme, right? Wes loves the villains. I love the heroes. So like my new deck that I've been playing is Saul and first set Luke. And it's all rebels. Like I'm just playing Chewbacca and Han Solo and Luke Skywalker and just all the fun, cool units, and also a lot of Sentinels so that I don't get beat up on. I think it's really important to build something that you want to play with, and that's going to be fun. It's got to be cards you want to play, and think about combos that you want to pull off that you can pull off by using multiple sets and multiple colors. Like one that I haven't pulled off yet is eventually I want to get it is a Rinda Price.
Oh yeah.
I want to get her on the table with Thrawn one day and do 8 damage to everybody's base by sacking 2 units. So think of like weird combos. Like one of the combos I thought of that I really wanted to play was I wanted to play the Phantom, which is a 2-cost green heroism unit.
Right. Okay.
And then I was able to play it into Fleet Lieutenant and give it an experience token. And then I was able to attack with Saw. And then I was able to attack with Luke all in one round.
Wow.
And take somebody out. And still have enough left to play in the heat of the battle to get me through the game. So it's pulling cool combos together that you couldn't normally pull out in like a regular game. I really love that aspect of it. So I've built whole decks around just trying to get this one combo to work. It's going to take you maybe 1 million games and maybe you'll never get it to go, but occasionally you'll get it to go and it just feels really good.
To your point about Sentinels, and Trey's point, basically, putting a Sentinel on the board is basically trying to discourage the other players from attacking you specifically. It does. I'm not arguing the point. But the other color that's got a lot of good Sentinels in it is green. There's a lot of really good green Sentinels, right? So it's not just blue. But the beauty of TS is that you're going to find yourself in 3 colors. You're going to have no shortage of things with the right kinds of keywords that you want necessarily, and you're going to be looking for. But yeah, I'm a sucker for the theme stuff. I got to put me together an Underworld deck or something soon with Java or whatever. I got to try it. So yeah. Okay. So go ahead. What else have you got? Go. What do you want?
So I want to talk about social interactions. Okay. We've covered this on our Twin Sun games are very legendary in this podcast. We talk about them a lot. That's
true.
You've got to be nice to other people on the table. I would say try not to gang up on people. It becomes harder when everybody else does. And
I don't know about not ganging up on people. You can gang up on people. Don't make it so somebody can't play.
That's a good point.
I think
somebody's going to take the brunt of the attacks every time, but just don't, unless you're trying to ruin their experience, don't make it so they can't play. I'll do that to people. If they do that to me, I do that back to them. So that's the only time I will go after just their unit so that they can't play.
Trey is vengeful. Noted.
Yeah, and enjoy the social aspect of it, right?
Yes.
Like, Trey and I played last week, and he tried to make some deals with me, and I immediately shut him down because he's on my no trade list, or no deal list, right? And it probably cost me the game, right? Because I should have said yes, because some of the moves he wanted me to make weren't really that terrible, and actually were pretty decent. But just because he's on my no deal list, but enjoy the social interaction of it. Like, and even saying no to him was still fun. So make sure that if you're make sure if you're playing, especially we played like kind of the same six of us are subbing in and out. Like, our games are pretty regular at this point, and if you can get a regular thing going with a group of 4 people, and even up to 6 or 8, like we can get sometimes, it can be a lot of fun. And just try it a few times and see how you like it. And I guarantee after a few games you'll find I think it's super enjoyable. But try to be nice. Try to be nice. It's hard, but try to.
What you're saying right there, that was harking back to why I play this game, is because it adds to the group lore of my personal experience of adding to this game. This whole thread where everybody gangs up on me, like all of that, like now we have this shared history together, building up the story of our Twin Sons group, and that I love that.
Yeah. What are your deck building tips? Yeah, bring it on. Okay, let's go.
So the first one, do not stress about getting the perfect 80 cards, because you're not gonna, and it doesn't really matter because it's a singleton. So you want to just start throwing. If you've never built a Twin Sons deck, just throw some stuff together. Pay attention to your cost curve.
Yes.
Find the cards that you think are cool. Don't anything that you play that it costs more than 6 has to do something the moment it comes into play. It has to be Han Solo with an ambush strike first type thing. It has to be the ship from Spark Rebellion that heals your base. It has to be something that you cannot play a 7 and expect to be able to, okay, now I'm going to untap and attack on the 8 resource turn. That's just, you can't count on that.
Yeah.
All right. So, but for the most part, it doesn't really matter what you play. Even if you just find some combination you hear about online of leaders, just put that together. Kind of dig through the cards, pick out cards that look fun, put them together, make sure you have a curve, and then that is a deck that you can play, and it will do things. The pressure of having the optimal list is much lower when there's 4 of you playing. Yeah. The percentages of drawing the exact card that you want are much lower. So you just need to draw a 2-drop. You don't need to draw this 2-drop every time. So you didn't. The specific one, you just need to have something to do on turn 1, and so that's what you want to. So the cards don't matter. One of the ones that I've found interesting is Restore is not that good. As the game, it was in the very beginning, but as the game is mature, and people are figuring out how to do that. The default is, if I don't know who I'm going to attack the person with the least amount of damage on their base. And so if you can restore all you want, all that's going to do is get more people to attack you.
Yeah, for sure. What else you got?
Okay, so the big one, and this is the one that I find I just recently I kind of had it and I built my decks this way, but you need to have some trick for the end of the game. You need to have either base heal or saboteur, something to fight through something. You can't just play a linear, I'm going to play my guys and attack, because somebody else is going to play repair to heal for 3 and win the game by 1 damage. Somebody's going to play, what is the name of the ship that heals all the stuff at the end at 8 from Spark Rebellion? The blue-white ship, you play it.
Redemption.
Thank you, Redemption. Somebody's going to play that at the end of the game then that's going to be their last action of the game.
Yeah.
So you need to have, or like, for another example to play in this instance would be the Maul from Shadows of the Empire that's just going to come out and smash over somebody over some battle droid and hit them for 6. Yeah. Like, you need to have something on turn 6 or turn 7. You need to be holding something in your hand that's going to do that. So don't resource that. Have them in your deck. Have multiples in your deck. Don't resource them. You just want to have one, whatever it is. Hold on to that one. And so that is the biggest thing that I use to win so many games, is that we get to the end and I make it so that what's happening on the table is playing out for everybody else. What's happening on the table is playing out the way that they see of things that are on the table. This person has this much damage. This person has this much damage. I'm going to attack you. You're going to attack me. We're kind of running out of things to do. The games that I win usually involve me going at the end. The very last thing that happens is me going, aha! And I play something and I either heal or I attack with Saboteur or whatever. So that is usually the games that I lose, it's usually because somebody did something like that at the end of those games. It's always that's usually the game winning play is something like that. So put those cards in your deck.
So for me, the deck building advice that I would give is you guys have hit curve. What I'll be even a little more specific. You've got an 80 card deck. You have to put 80 single cards in it. Units, as always, are going to be your bread and butter. I would not put any fewer than probably 60 units in an 80 card deck. I think that would be the low end. And truth be told, I would probably, me personally, I like to go maybe a little higher than that. But 60 is if you're looking for a number, 60 is a nice good rule of thumb. I would say a little less than a third of those, maybe somewhere in the 16 to 18, maybe 19 range, should be turn one plays. Okay, so you'd be looking for early game plays that you're willing to put into that deck that look good, that sound like something you want to play on the first turn. Sometimes it might even be just amazing, just anything to get you onto the board with something in that first turn of the round. At the other end of the spectrum, okay, so let me back that. So we talked about curve. Trey talked about putting things that cost 6 or more units. For me, I typically cap out a TS deck at 6. It's very rare to find a Twin Suns game that goes past 6 or maybe 7 resources. Now that can be modified a little bit with cards like Galactic Escalation, right? They printed that in the new Twin Suns decks that were released earlier this year. I've played games where two people start with that in their opening hand, and suddenly we're all on 6 resources on the third turn of the game, and it's like, whoa, this just got real weird real fast. But in general, those games are the exception. So you need to go in with a curve that probably caps at around 6 or 7 in general, and then backfill from there. For me, what I've kind of learned is with those last kind of whatever non-unit cards I'm putting in, I look for really impactful upgrades. I like to have a few of those around because this is where I really like pilot units, because the pilot units, I can play them in a ground arena if I don't have a vehicle to put them on, or if I really want, I can play them onto a vehicle. Could be a ground vehicle. There's plenty of good ground vehicles in the game now, or it could be a space vehicle. So you have those units that can maybe go either way as upgrades. But there's certainly enough good things like lightsabers and electro staff out of set 1 and all kinds of other cards you could consider. When it comes to events, for me, I shy away from the middle of the spectrum on events. To me, an event is either super cheap or it's super expensive and mega impactful, and I treat it like a late game play. A card like Rivals Fall, for example. I won't, if I'm playing blue in a TS deck, I'm going to have one of those in there, because sometimes you just look across at your opponent's Obi-Wan Kenobi leader with a General's Blade, and you're like, you know what? I just don't feel like beating 6 units into that. Die. And the whole table gives you a high five for doing that, because you just saved everybody a whole bunch of pain. Otherwise, like really cheap events, there's a ton of really good cheap events, some of which are smuggle. Ian mentioned Timely Intervention. One of my favorites out of Shadows of the Galaxy is called Covert Strength, right? Which you can also smuggle out if you don't have another good play. You can heal a unit on the board and give an experience token to it. Those kinds of things can be really, really neat if timed, sequenced correctly in a turn. You can take a Sentinel that your opponents are ganging up on and heal it and make it a little tougher, like in the middle of them trying to get rid of it. Those kinds of things are fun. A card that Trey burned me with, speaking of big, impactful events in the late game that I've been hosed by before, a card like Double Cross, right? Double Cross, Turbo Laser Salvo. These kinds of things, you have to treat it like a late game play, but when it comes in, it literally changes this how the entire board looks when it's hitting 4 different people's ground arenas, for example, if I'm using Turbo Laser Blast as the example. So the events that I tend to look at are the one, maybe the occasional 2-cost event, depending, and then I look at the other end of the spectrum. I generally don't look at the cards that cost 3, the events that cost 3 and 4. I've maybe find some upgrades in there, but events in that range, I find for that price, I'd rather be playing a unit that sticks around and does something, right? Whether it's a road bump for someone to attack into or get me some base damage out of it. That's how I play it. But I mean, your mileage may vary. That would be my recommendations for first timers.
Man, your math is like spot on. I checked my 3 Twin Suns decks that I've built over the past 2-3 sets, and it's like 60 units, 20 events. I keep my events super cheap, though. I don't like to play events over 2. I just don't like. I used to play Rivals Fall and Takedown and stuff like that, but I find that like I end up early game resourcing it. So I started early game resourcing stuff like that, I started just going cheaper events. I just find that they're a little more useful.
I will say, the blue that I have downstairs, that my little Imperial deck that I have built, does have Takedown and Vanquish and Rivals Fall in it. I have learned through painful experience, never, ever, 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 ever resource Rivals Fall, because it's a get out of jail free card for literally anything that we have all seen some really heinously Voltroned up units in Twin Suns, a leader with 2 or 3 upgrades and experience tokens on it and shenanigans, right? I played a game that what was it? It wasn't a game you were in, Trey. One of the games of Twin Suns I played the last day of Galactics, guy sitting next to me got his Maul out. No, he got Savage out, got Maul out, put Darksaber on the Savage, had it stacked up with experience tokens, had Darksaber on it, put something else on it. It was like the thing had like 5 upgrades on it. It was insane. And it was just like my kingdom for a Rivals Fall right now, you know? So I've learned not to resource that card. But the other ones, yes, at the wrong time, resource them. But there are times they're good to have. What were you gonna say,
you guys
Trey?
have your pet decks, like you have your Imperial deck, Ethan, you have your Saw X decks, whatever it is.
Who is Ethan?
Ian.
Ethan?
Ian.
You just called me Ethan. Bro.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, I just misspoke. I didn't mean to say Ethan.
Don't worry
it's
about
supposed to come out Ian.
It's late.
I don't know. Whoever, guy in the glasses, whoever you are.
It's cool.
Anyway, are you content right now playing those, or are you looking at any new decks, or are you just like, are you thinking about playing anything new? Have you been experimenting with new leaders?
I got a new spicy one that I built. I've got CAD Aura that I built.
Oh yeah.
Seems
Jason
messed
took
up.
that to Galactics. Jason took that to Galactics, and it puts a target on you.
Oh yeah.
It does, but mine's got a lot of ramp in it too. I'm playing every ramp card. Every ramp card to try to get there, to play cool, fun things. I don't know. Wes sent me a Jedi one that I've been messing with that I'm trying to pin down, so I want to get that going.
Mm-hmm. I played against a guy playing that leader combo I sent you. It was Kit Fisto, Obi-Wan Blue, I think. And I sat next to a guy. I played a game of TS at Galactics with a guy playing exactly that. He did really mean things with that deck.
Yeah, you can. There's some good combos to pull in.
Yeah, it was fun.
So those are the 2 that I'm working on right now. Okay. I'm hoping that I'll have I think I'm gonna have the Jedi one done first. I'm still working on the CAD one. There's a lot of weird tweaking. I want to try to ramp. I want to see if you can ramp in Twin Suns. I think it would be an interesting thing. I think there's enough ramp cards now where maybe I can get 1 in per game.
The problem is the only ramp you're going to be able to afford regularly boils down to 3 cards, right? Galactic Escalation, Resupply, and Super Laser Tech. The other ramp cards cost 6, and by then, why bother with it, right? The game's probably over.
You have the new one where you sack the Imperial unit.
Oh, Long Live the Empire. Okay. You have Long Live the Empire, and then Rebellion gets Spark of Hope, which I did manage to play at least once at Galactics. It's not a great card, but I played it.
I mean, you could play that off aspect for 4.
So one of the decks making the rounds is Tobias Piet. So you ramp with Tobias, and then you use Piet's discount to throw out giant ships. I played that one once. It was okay, but it's kind of.
Is that when you got the law? Is that the deck that you got the Lawbringer on the table?
Probably, yeah. That would be when I played the Lawbringer.
That was pretty rough. Was pretty rough.
I would love to get me a Ravager on the table in Twin Suns. Oh, that would feel so good.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Yeah. So I'm gonna follow that thought up with a question. Do you guys, when you pick leader pairings, do you prefer leaders that are mechanically complementary, as with Aura and CAD, or do you prefer leaders that are maybe more socially interesting or more combo-y with what's going on in the deck and maybe less mechanically interlinked, just the 2 of them? Preferences?
Yeah.
It's funny. When Trey said, he wants a little mechanic at the end of the game, I've always thought about how I close out games with leaders.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I Saw Luke so much, is you can close out the game with your 2 leaders. Mm-hmm. So I'm always looking for leader pairings that I think I can close a game out with, that I can get them out kind of on the same turn and maybe close out with the leader pairings. So that's something I always look at sometimes when I'm building decks for. It's a leader pairing.
So I can appreciate leader pairings that are thematic, like the precon decks, and then I see other people put decks together that are thematic. But for me, it is all about the interesting interplay of mechanics. I don't like it. all of the Star Wars stuff kind of lives in my head. I don't need to see. My story is the gameplay and my friends that I play with. It is not necessarily. I like being set in the Star Wars universe, but I don't need to see Luke versus Vader. I'm happy to see Jyn versus Gren or Moff Thrawn or whatever. And so I don't really pay attention to the theme of the cards very much, other than just enjoying that they all look like Star Wars. I'm much more about the interesting mechanics together.
Okay. Just curious. I always like to get people's takes because it's fun to hear everybody's opinions.
So that's thinking about those. That is, I only asked you because I wanted to hear myself talk about the decks you're playing, so I could tell you about my deck.
I didn't answer that question yet. So for me,
no, tell me about yours then.
So for me, I know I need to build. It's always about Trey, isn't it? I know I need to build me. Again, I'm a theme guy. I've got an Imperial deck built. It's time I come up with a Rebel deck. I really want to build something with Luthen, just because I feel like it'd be fun to use his game text in a TS sense, where I'm taking my units and smashing them into things and getting extra damage on top of that, or trading up. Like, might be fun to try. I don't know, Luthen, Cassian. I want to do something thematic with the Rebels, right? I don't know what. I got to think about it. Underworld, I definitely want to do something with Underworld, the Underworld keyword. We've got several good leaders now that trigger off of Underworld type units. I'm looking at Jabba, Cad out of set 2, Jabba out of set 7. The other thought I had was maybe trying to pair Credit Jabba out of set 7 with maybe Baby Boba, also out of Lawless Time, like yellow, green, and then probably red. Might be fun. I realize that gets away from Ian's precious must play blue, but I mean, ooh. I think there's some fun combos that you can be very aggressive, and I think that deck would really reward you for interacting with people on the board, because Boba literally says, "Go forth and murder units and make cash while you do it." Right? What better way than when you've got all these, a whole variety of units? Not all of your opponents will not be able to lane dodge you. Let's put it that way. In a 1v1 game, maybe your opponent finds a way to play space or something, and Boba doesn't really trigger. But in a 3v in a Twin Suns game, you're going to get some work out of Baby Boba along the way. That might be fun. So yeah, I need to spend some time with that. Oh, I got I know one I definitely have to build. I picked up a showcase Twin Suns Dooku at Galactics. Now we're going to put together the law firm of Dooku and Dooku as a deck, right? Because I'm going to go pick Twilight. I'm going to go pick the Twilight Dooku up, and we're going to play some full-on Separatist synergy as well. I definitely got to get the Dooku and Dooku law firm kicking. So I'll work on that one.
That's cool. Okay.
What about you? Now, bring it on, Trey. You can tell us about your shenanigans now. It's your turn, buddy.
Finally, I've sat through you guys just chattering on.
Boring and inane garbage. I know.
So, as much as we said that you play blue, probably green, that's a lot of my decks have those bases. I set myself to build something a little different with my latest deck. I'm actually iterating on my latest deck rather than finding the new hotness for the deck after that. I think I have discovered what is the most powerful leader. Just the single most powerful leader, I think, is Rex from the Twin Suns. Okay. The one that lets you untap your opponent's dudes. Yes. I think he is the most powerful leader.
It's pretty good.
So my current one, for all blue green is what you're supposed to use. My current one is red yellow. It is Rex, and then Poe from Spark of Rebellion that draws cards, and then yellow for the cheap events to play with Rex. And it's not.
You mean Cassian?
Super aggressive. Yeah, Cassian. I don't know. I get those confused. Yeah, okay. Cassian from the first one. Okay. The Cassian leader that draws cards. I don't know names. No, there's no Poe.
It's cool. It's cool.
Cassian from the first one. And
we got you.
And Rex. So it untapping other people's units and getting them. It's not about manipulating them into getting them to do what you want. It's letting them do whatever they want as long as it doesn't hurt you. Incorrect. It is what? Incorrect what?
Incorrect. I've watched you play. Okay, so I've watched you play Rex. This is how you play Rex. Hey, Katie, I'll untap this unit if you do this. No, Ian. Hey, I'll untap this unit if you do this.
Well, but
that is just me identifying what is a good play for you.
Yeah.
And so it is usually like hey, this person has a sentinel, we can take him out if you want to team up together. And I'm on your don't do any deals with list, and I'm perfectly fine on not doing deals with you.
Hilarious.
But you know what, someone else will, and so someone else will do it, and you ended up losing because it's not about making people do what I want them to do. It's about identifying good plays that they can make for themselves, and kind of if they don't see them, I can point them out to them. But the reason that I think Rex is so good is because I don't need Ian to die, and I don't need Katie to die. I need everybody to fight amongst themselves, and I sit back and do some things on my own. So as long as that unit that I'm untapping is attacking some of the 90 points of health that's out there on other bases, it is advancing my game plan, and I get to do it immediately and for free for whatever unit I want on the first turn. So you could play some unit at 2 that's like if there's a hypothetical unit that you play as your first play that's a 2, like somebody else plays it, and it is like a 10-10, but it says this doesn't ready until you have 7 resources or something like that. I can attack with that on the first round and every single round if I'm the Rex player, because I don't care if Wes, you play this card, I don't care if it hits Ian, I don't care if it hits Katie, as long as it doesn't hit me, I can take it from you, and it's doing my work for me. So I can use Rex and pair with anybody who will do a deal with me to do my work for me, and it's so incredibly powerful to use Rex to basically just hit anybody with the biggest dude on the table, or take out some some sentinel that's blocking all of us, and just kind of have your goals align with somebody else's goals in the moment and help them out. But by helping out their goals, you help out your goals, and it advances your win. And Rex there's no like you untap a unit whose power is less than the number of resources that you have on the table. It is just the biggest dude on the table. You can help somebody out, and that helps you win. So I think he's the most powerful leader in the game, because he essentially lets you attack somebody with the biggest unit on the board starting on the very first turn. Like, you don't even have to use the part. You don't have to use the part where you get the discount. I just want to untap your guy and have you hit somebody and start working on somebody's life, and I'll do that immediately.
One day it's going to bite you in the butt, and it's going to be funny, and you're going to have the opposite opinion. I untapped Katie's guy, and she killed me.
Maybe, but then I won't ever do that with Katie again, and Katie will be on the lore moves forward that Katie is untrustworthy, and I won't do deals with her anymore. Yeah. So the story that I talked about earlier, this is just kind of a fun anecdote. We played on Tuesday, and everything played out. It was pretty cool that Ian got to play his everybody loses
in the heat of battle
Saboteur. Everybody gets Sentinel and everybody loses Saboteur.
Mm-hmm. First of all, I played it at the top of the round because if not, I was going to die.
Okay.
Like, there was no option.
Yeah.
There was no option. He plays that. Everybody gets it. Ian is like at 21 or 22 or 23 or something like that. And so I just let the round play out. I sit there. Everybody just kind of sits behind their wall of Sentinels. We get to the end, and I had the Spark of Rebellion event that says attack with Saboteur, it gets +2. And so I used the Rex leader side, the Rex unit side, to just slip through all of Ian's defenses and hit him and put him at 28 damage on his base. And then everybody went, okay. And then my sneak card, that was one sneak card. Then I played for A Cause to Believe In, and which is flip over cards, and for every one that you flip over 4 cards and do damage for every white card you hit, and it finished Ian off through his crazy card that he played, and it was fantastic.
And I healed for like 8 that game too. I restored for like 8 that game. It did not matter. It was one of those games where it was like, Trey, I attack your base. I have a Sentinel. Ian, I attack your base. Well, damn it. Fun game though. I love playing Twin Suns. It's so fun. Funny. I hope more people make decks and start playing. I really hope that next year I can make it to Galactics and just play Twin Suns all day, every day.
I mean,
I did it the first year.
It was fun as hell. Sounds like you've got a golden ticket with your wife already saying, yeah, we're going to Disneyland. Like, why would we not? Let's go.
Yeah, it's right around her birthday too.
Yeah, so it's a winner. That's a winner. All right, guys, we probably need to call this an episode. Any other final thoughts on Twin Suns other than what I'll share is, guys, if you haven't tried Twin Suns, I would highly encourage you to find 3 other friends that love the game, sit down, build some decks, and just have an enjoyable time of it. Treat it like, grab some drinks and throw on some movie in the background and just have fun with it sometime. Don't take it serious. It's not meant to be. It's not ever going to be competitive, and it shouldn't be, in my opinion.
I don't know. You need to put it together so we can start playing games on stream, and then I can get my name out there.
Oh, it's my responsibility. I see how it is.
You're the one that has the room,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'll work it into my schedule just for you so you can be on the panel next year, Trey. And when you are, I expect some recognition, sir, when this happens. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm only here because of the graciousness of Sea Raptor. You should watch him. I can't believe I got on this stage before you guys are paying Sea Raptor to cover this event. And then you know what I'll do? I'll stand up, I'll take my mic off, and I'll throw it on the ground and say, I'm not going to do this in protest because Sea Raptor's not covering this.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
It's all waiting on you.
I'm so glad that we recorded this episode because now I can clip this and play it for future events. This is amazing. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Any other final thoughts, boys? Ian, what do you got? Anything at the end here? You good?
Nothing, man.
You're all talked out. Trey, what about you?
Yeah.
Like and subscribe and leave a comment.
Yeah.
And
yes, definitely.
Like, it's awesome. Please help people find us. I'm terrible at this, but
no, that's okay. That's okay. If you guys
like it, share it with people.
Absolutely. As always, guys, if you do enjoy the content we make here, do please throw us a like, subscribe, and share it. What do you got, Ian?
The Discord.
Oh yeah, you got the Discord. I'll put so give us the short version on what you do with the Discord, Trey, and I'll start putting that link into show notes, and everybody can join us on Discord.
All right, cool. Yeah. So from the beginning of this, we kind of all had come to this from our own enclaves online of doing gaming, or at least Wes and I did. Ian, we brought along. He's busy at the store. Basically, Wes had a Discord server, and I had a Discord server. Wes is for Sea Raptor, and it covers all of his battleship games, all of his stuff that he does. And then the one that I had, was kind of a local gaming just for our group at what used to be Dragon's Lair, and so I have repurposed that one, and that is now the on the button Discord. So if you want to, it is just discord.onthebutton.xyz. If you go to that, it's a forward that will take you to an invite for our Discord now. I haven't done anything with the channels. There's no like special cool place to show up, but show up and say hi and join our Discord, and all 3 of us are there and chit-chatting and tell us who you are.
Yeah, come on in.
The Wednesday, I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it has to do with, but the Wednesday night crew chat that goes off sometimes is hilarious in that Discord and always makes me laugh.
What do you mean?
Really?
Wednesday night?
It must be like your old. It must be like your old.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever the old night used to be that you guys played games, and it has a lot of like the OG people that were at at SWU when it first started. Like we're definitely there. And man, they are
Star Wars Destiny
like
group.
Their friendship in that group is absolutely hilarious. Like
that's true.
The air guitar thing that came in through there one time, I almost died laughing. Like literally, like having trouble to breathe. I'm laughing so hard, and they're telling me that this guy is real. They know him. This is a legit thing. Here's him at competitions. Like. Check it out. Just check it out. Like scroll back through the time of that thing. That thing is so fun.
Okay.
I love it.
All right. Good to know. But yes, I'll put a link to the Discord, guys. And Trey, I'll work with you to make sure I get a link. One of those Discord links sometimes are set to expire, but you can also program set them up so they don't. Yeah. So I need to make sure I get that link from you, and I'll put that in the show notes. You guys.
Discord.onthebutton.xyz will take you to to that link, the unexpiring link.
Okay. That makes my life even easier. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll appreciate you as always. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging with us. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, hit us up between episodes. Come on in Discord, chat us up, and we will see you guys next time with whatever it is we're going to talk about. I don't know. We don't have the next one planned the way we had this one planned, so we'll see what happens.
Bands.
We'll see what happens over the next 2 weeks. Well, we're going to start getting Homeworld spoilers soon, so maybe, and we're going to have 2 more weeks of events. Spoilers. Right? We're going to have another. I think the SQ in Berlin is coming up next weekend. So yeah, it's going to be good times. All right, we'll catch you guys later. Peace. Take care.